All right, guys, welcome back. It is Monday, September 23rd, a little bit more vlog style today. Today, we're gonna make a video about every SPX trade that I took in the month of September. Every SPX trade that if I go over to this performance tab here on E-Trade, that made me month to date, you guys can see right here, over $500,000, $541,000 on the month, $676,000. And I wanna review every SPX trade within reason that I went ahead and I took this month. I'm gonna avoid like the little trades, the break evens, the up 1,000, down 1,000, the big juicers, right? Let's look at the juicers, both to the upside and some of the losses. Losses were sort of minimal, obviously with that type of P&L, but let's review every SPX trade. That's gonna be today's video. Today alone, another 24,000 on SPX. Today's trading gain, 41,000. It is Monday, September 23rd. So right now I'm getting ready to hit the gym. It's around 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Eastern. Gonna make myself a little bit of food, a little protein shake. We're gonna get to the gym. Hope you guys enjoy this one. If you do, press that like button, subscribe. Let me know down below if you like the vlog styles, man. I like doing it. It's a little bit more fun, a little bit more easygoing. Let me know what you guys think. So I don't know about you guys, but these Hokas, man. They are ridiculous. They look ridiculous, but I'll tell you, they are definitely better for running. So we're gonna wear these today. We're gonna run to the gym. I've been trying to run a little bit more, try to get outside a little bit more, try to stay active. Started playing pickup soccer again. If you guys did not know, I am a state champion in soccer. Gulf Coast High School, Naples, Florida, 2013, go ahead and look it up. 2013, almost 11 years ago. Wild, but soccer state champ. So try to keep the touch. Striker. Hoka's ridiculous. You know what are good about these guys? I'm a pretty short guy, about 5'7". I'm about 5'8", 5'9" in these, so that's a little bit of a ego boost there, but there's no way you're gonna find me in public with these on. But yeah, let's go ahead and make a run to the gym. It's about a mile run from my house, so we're gonna run there, hit the gym, and then we will be back. All right, guys, so I did want to get this video done today. It is Monday, September 23rd, and I would have liked to finish this one. One, I'm still in an SPX trade, which I'm gonna go ahead and see out, and so we can include that in all of the SPX trades that I did take this month. So let's go ahead and wait for that trade to come to a close. And then second, running out of time here today, did have to help the grandfather out. Family comes first, and so I'm sort of running out of time to finish up this video, but I'll go ahead and pop up on the screen the SPX trade that I'm still currently in. You guys can see the open position. Let's go ahead and finish that. Let's go ahead and let that trade come to a resolution, and then after, we'll go ahead and go over this. So tomorrow, which is gonna be Tuesday, I hope to finish up this video for you guys. We'll go ahead and review every SPX trade that I've taken this month. So I will see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday, September 24th is gonna be where we finish up this video. So have a fantastic night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, good morning, guys. Welcome back. It is Tuesday morning, September 24th. It is about 7:43 a.m., so about to jump on that live stream. But before we do that, I just want to give you a little bit of a snippet into what the futures are doing right now and some open positions that I do currently have. So as of right now in the pre-market, looking like a pretty good morning. We don't want to jinx anything, so we'll see how this market goes today. I'll go ahead and give you guys an update of my day when I'm done trading today. So around 1 o'clock today, we're going to go ahead and finish up the rest of this video. We'll go ahead and give you that update on all the SPX positions, go through and recap all those SPX positions, and hopefully this is an educational video for some of you out there. All right, guys, so I'm pretty happy that I waited for today to make this video. So today, insane day. NVIDIA finally woke up. Jensen decided to stop selling shares. We took a sick long off of the 481, the 568 level on the SPY. Perfect pullback long today. And today we have officially gotten over the $1 million mark in my portfolio. So I'm about to show you guys right here. You guys can see that we have crossed the $1 million mark in the portfolio. Today, another $54,000, Nvidia, some SPX, some Tesla, a little bit of TSM, which I'm a little bit upset about because I had way more size in that TSM. I got a little bit spooked out of it, but we went ahead and we crossed that level. $1,045 in our trading account. Absolutely insane. The long today was right off this 568, which was awesome. This was a long off 5760 on ES, which was awesome. See if I can get that to focus. There you go. This was a long right off 481 on the Qs. And Nvidia right off 116, man. What a move. We're having a little bit of trouble up here at that 486 Q, so this is a little bit of a concern still. So guys, that is my day right now. I'm about to hit the gym, and then after, we're gonna go ahead and finally finish what this video is really about, and it is all the SPX trades that I took this month. See you guys next, back on the computer after the gym sesh. All right, guys, so welcome back to the stew. We are finally back on the charts. Let's go ahead and get started with some of the educational content here. Number one, here is my broker. Here's E-Trade. This is my month-to-date performance. It's about $750,000 in the month of September, $570,000 on SPX. This is where majority of these profits have come from, and so that is why I want to review those today. If we go to year-to-date, we can see year-to-date's about $736,000, so a lot of the profits, pretty much all the profits coming in from this SPX trade. I didn't start trading in this E-Trade account before about a few months ago. I did go ahead and I'll go ahead and show you guys my positions. I did go ahead and put quite a bit of money in this VMFXX, the money market mutual fund. This is somewhere I wanted to go ahead and store some cash, and I needed to open up a broker or use an actual broker to do that, right? So I couldn't do that in M1 Finance, which is where I typically have my long-term portfolio. They don't have the money market mutual fund. So I did fund this account, and man, that might have been the best thing I've ever done, was funding this account and starting to trade in it. I don't know what it is. Just love this platform and started to use it, had some cash in it, and I took advantage of the cash that I had in it. I was tempted to just let it sit very neutral, very cautious, and just let it sit in that VMFXX. But I did have some urge to try to grow it, and it was the best decision that I've ever made. So this is my account. Here's all the orders. We'll go through all of these, and I'll go back to the performance. You guys can see the month to date, 760. Today alone, $75,000. Today, another $25,000 on SPX. I've taken all of these trades and I've imported them into TradeZella. If I go month to date, you guys can see that $570,900, and I've imported every one of those trades here into TradeZella so that you guys can see and we can go through every one of these trades, and the statistics are quite shocking. I don't know what it is about my trading on SPX this month that have just been lights out. But we can see right here the $570,900 profit, the trade win percent. I have only lost on one trade on SPX this month. That is back on the 17th of September. The average win to loss is $40,000 to $810, which is crazy because there's only one loss, of course. And the profit factor is 705. So 15 total trades to make $570,000. We can go ahead and go like this. We can go to the net P&L. We can go to the largest to the smallest, and then we can start to just sort of look at these. The biggest one right here, 188,000, that was 242%. 140,000, that was 185%. 101,000, that was 435%. And then you can start to see some of the decent, five-figure ones right here. So we have 3 6-figure trades. We have 4 5-figure trades. And then we have a bunch of smaller ones down here. We're going to go ahead and focus on, let's go ahead and focus on the top 5 percentage point wise. So let's go ahead and focus on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's focus on a recent one, Most recent one was this one right here. That was today. That was yesterday. It was about 18%. Maybe we'll focus on that one as well. But basically, I'm just going to focus on the big boys and talk through the 242%, the 185%, and the 435% trades. Those are the big ones we're going to focus on. I can't run you through every single one of these. It would be way too long of a video, and probably no one would be watching by the time it's over. So let's just focus on the big boys. Those are the ones that we're going to review, and hopefully you will learn something from those trades. I'm going to go ahead and do an extra step of confirmation of transparency here for you guys, because I know this is a lot of money, and I want to make sure that you guys are knowing that I'm not faking this. I'm going to go here. This is E-Trade. I'm going to go to gains and losses, and I'm going to go to this month. You guys can see right here. This is September 1st. To September 24th. I'm going to go like that. And then we're going to go ahead and filter this to SPX. And so we can see the SPX profits total realized, 570,000, 569, 379. That differs by about $1,000. Not sure why there's a difference there. Probably the commissions and fees is probably why that doesn't really take into account perfectly. But you guys can see, I'll do it again. This is a live web page. I can go here, I can go there, I can exclude some trades, right? From the 18th to the 24th, I can go back to that. You know, I can do anything you asked me for. $570,000 SPX. Let's go ahead and now review. Okay, so the first one we're going to review here is a trade I opened on September 18th, and I swung this overnight September 19th. So the 18th to the 19th, this was a swing trade that I opened on SPX. My average fill here, we'll go to the executions. You can see I was sort of entering in the 30s, entering in the 20s, entering in the 11s. So I was sort of scaling down into this trade. My idea behind this trade was a pullback long off of key demand. Pretty much every single trade that you're going to hear me talk about in this video today on the SPX is going to be pullback longs. Pullbacks into key demands, trusting the demand lows, trusting the trend in the market, and looking for that demand low to create a new risk-reward long opportunity. And so basically, on the 18th, I was scaling into a position. I was scaling pretty much down into a position all afternoon. It was starting around 3 o'clock and then, almost into close from like anywhere from 3 to 4 o'clock. I was getting into SPX trades with the idea of swing trading them overnight. So I got into about 35 contracts. And then the next day, you can see I was scaling out of those at 56, 73, and 61, almost about a 500 to 600% profit from my last entry. But overall, if we go to the stats, it was overall about 185%. So why did I take this trade? Why was I willing to scale into an SPX contract, scale into longs on the 18th into the 19th? Right here, you guys can see we have a very clear 56.75 level on the S&P 500 futures. This has been a level that I have focused on the S&P 500 futures pretty much that entire period of last week. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see that there were some previous very clear lows, very clear highs, some consolidation back in August, mid-August, and then we had a very clear, if we go to the 30-minute chart here again, we had a very clear low attempting to form both Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of last week. So you guys can see right here, Monday of last week, we had a hold at 56.75. Tuesday of last week, a hold of 56.75. And on Wednesday of last week, which was post FOMC, we had a downside move into that same 56.75. So what I wanted to try to do was I wanted to go ahead and attempt to enter some long positions with the idea that the exact low that held both Friday of the week prior, Monday of that week, Tuesday of that week, I was using risk reward and I guess you could say statistics, looking to see if that demand low would hold again, right? So that was all I was trying to do. Long, as we pull back into that demand, look to see if you can get a good entry down at that demand low and look to see if the market can continue to do exactly what it has been doing for 4 days straight, right? We have 4 days straight of the S&P 500, really 3 days straight of the S&P 500, getting upside off the same exact level, moving higher after pulling back to 56.75. And we got that same 56.75 pullback on Wednesday of last week. So what I did was I started to scale into this trade. If I go to TradeZella, you guys can see I was entering, and I was scaling into this trade down at that 56.75 level. Obviously on the SPX, this is around 56.40. So I'll go to the SPX and I'll show you. I'm using the ES futures when I'm trading the SPX. I just like the way the ES futures looks. I enjoy trading it a little bit more. I think it's cleaner than this chart, right? The SPX is just sort of ugly. So I use the ES. I think it's a much cleaner trade. And I was very, very confident that we would try to at least hold that 56.75 level again. Now, another reason why I was willing to take that trade was because even if we saw a little bit of downside, I still believed in the downside demand under that 75 down into that 56.50, 56.50, 56.50, and that previous high right here at 56.50. So I was very interested in whether it was a long off 56.50 or a long off my 56.75. As we got that downside on Wednesday of last week, which I will go to again, I was starting to develop that long idea. Now, of course, I was entering with some pretty large size, right? And so this is something that I'm not gonna try to hide, man. I'm trading with large size. This is how I've gotten to this point. This is what I've had to get comfortable with if I want to make these types of profits. So whether you were trying to trade SPY longs there with maybe 1 or 2 contracts, maybe taking some SPX longs with 1 contract, right? Whatever you're trying to do, the idea remains the same. The idea here was that the ES was pulling back into the same triple bottom low that it was holding both Friday, Monday, and Tuesday on that Wednesday move, pulling back into that 56.75 and entering my longs as we got that pullback, looking for the market to do the same thing and bounce off that low. We got that move overnight. We opened the market the next day. The market obviously was higher the next day, gapped up into that 57.78 all-time high, and that is where I started to take my profits. So the first trade that we're reviewing today is simply a pullback long into a key demand level, and it pays to understand your levels, right? These are the levels that I talk about every day in the live stream. These are the levels that we go over on a daily basis. This was the 56.75 level. Once again, this 56.75 level was the same low that was generally holding back in the channel in August. This was the same previous level right here and the same lows that happened back in July. This 56.75 level showing us a very clear demand over 3 days, taking that attempt with risk reward, understanding that the market could attempt to hold that low again, and that is how I was able to profit on the first SPX trade that we review here today. So that was this one right here. That was the $140,000 profit, the 185% profit. The next one we're going to review is this one back from 9/11. You guys may remember this one. We've talked about this before. This was a 435% profit. This was a $100,000 trade. This was my first 100,000 trade ever. We put $23,000 in it. We made 435%. Why did I take this long? So we can go to the executions, and you guys can see right here, this was back on the 11th of September. We entered 20 contracts at 1160. We took 15 off at 52, and we took 5 off at 91 for a total of a 435% profit. That is $23,000 into a $100,000 trade. That's 435%. And what I'll do here is I'll pull up that E-Trade, and I will put this side by side so that you guys can see those orders that are in TradeZella and how they match up. So we'll go to executions. You guys can see this is back on the 11th. The 5450 calls, which was right here, 20 of them entering right there and exiting 15 of them right here and exiting the rest right here. That is that trade right in E-Trade on TradeZella as well. Just verifying that for you. So on the chart here, you guys can see my entries and exits. There was my entry. There were my 2 exits. Why did I long the market on the 11th around that 5460 level on the SPX? Well, let's go back to the 11th on the S&P 500. And if you guys have been watching my channel, you probably have seen this trade but we will review this one more time. You guys can see right here, back on the 11th, this was right here. We bounced aggressively off this 55.05 level and the 100 SMA on the ES futures. We had a low, and a sort of liquidity grab below and a reclaim back above. And if you remember this day, and I'll try to go back to this day on the short-term time frames. Let me go back to this. If you remember this day, you will remember how aggressive, sorry about the charts freaking out. It's loading in all the days. Probably don't need to load in all those days. I'll go to the 5 minute and I will get back to 30 days. So if you remember this day, this was back on the 11th, and there was a very, very aggressive reclaim back above the 100 SMA and a pretty much straight V-shaped recovery. Look at this right here. Let's review this chart. It will make sense to you once I review this. Right here, this was the 9th of September. Aggressive long off the 100 SMA. The next day, we did the exact same thing. Pulled back, V-shaped recovery off the 100 SMA. Look at the identical moves right here and right here. Both that Monday and that Tuesday. Identical moves. So, what was I looking for that day to take the long again? I was looking to see if the S&P could do the exact same thing, hold the 100 SMA, hold the demand low. It's the exact same concept as the last trade we just talked about. Now, let's go ahead and zoom in on this day's price action. You guys can see we pulled back to that 100 SMA. Never saw any type of attempt of a hold, so I did not enter. Right? You can see right here, we never had any attempt. If we go back to this day, look at what started to form, right? That's about 4 or 5 minute candles. That's 15 minutes of maintains right above that level, which resulted in an upside move, right? Let's go to the day prior. The day prior, we had about a little bit of consolidation there, but we saw that reclaim. We had a nice little 5, 10, 15 minutes of consolidation at that 100 SMA, never breaking below it, wicking off of it. We had confirmation that that level was holding. Now, let's go into this day, the day that I actually took my long. You can see right here, never a sign of a hold, right? So we didn't get faked out there. We didn't long here because there was never there wasn't even a green candle, right? No reason to ever enter, no confirmation. What did the market do after failing? Coming back up above it, look at this candle right here. This candle was the reason why I entered this trade. I remember this vividly. We saw the markets reclaim the 100 SMA, reclaim that 55.06 demand. That was right here. We saw the market pull back to that level and aggressively wick off that level. That is a reclaim of key demand. And after seeing that, that is where I went ahead and entered my trade. Right there, I saw the reclaim, I saw the hold, I had confidence, and I went ahead and I entered those 20 contracts at $11, and I pretty much just rode this puppy higher. There was never really a reason to be concerned about it. It was pretty much a V-shaped move ever since that hold. You guys can see right here, since that hold, it was pretty much just a V-shaped move, and I just rode it out and milked those profits. Again, you can see the similarities between the last trade and this trade. Both key levels below that we pulled back to, that we held strong at, and we tried to long that low. The pullback long, the key demands, and it pays once again to trust your levels and to trust your downside demands. In a downward trending market, it pays to trust your upside supplies, but right now, that is not what the market is doing. It pays to look for those pullback longs. The first one was right here, right? Let's go ahead and look at this on the 30-minute chart. Right here was the first trade here that we talked about just there, right? That was one long. The second long was right here, guys. Look at how similar the trade ideas were between these two trades, right here and right here. A repetitive process. These are not just out of left field trades that I got lucky on that made me a lot of money. These are the same exact triple bottom demand lows that I attempted that got me to where I am, right? Why did I have so much confidence in trying this one? Probably because I made the money on this one, right? So when I made that $100,000 profit, longing this triple bottom low, and I started to see it form again here last week on Wednesday, I said, hey, right, I got to give this a shot. The risk reward was so worth it last time around. Why not give it another attempt? So this was the first trade. This was the second trade. And those were the two trades. If I go back, right, those were these two trades that made me both 185% and 435%. Those are the exact same setups. That right there alone, 240,000 by trusting those triple bottom lows that showed up on the markets and trusting the levels. So guys, the last trade that we're going to review today is the exact same as the previous one we talked about. It was basically just a trade I took with more size and the same idea. You guys can see right here, I entered on the 10th of September, the 11th of September, and exited on the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. I've already made a video about this trade on the channel, but I'll go ahead and review it one last time. Again, the same idea, the exact same idea. If we go back to the S&P 500 and we go back to that 1 hour chart, this was right here. It was the long off that 5506, right? And I just trusted it over multiple days. Go back and watch my video on how I maintained and held a six-figure trade, and you are going to learn why I held this trade over 4 days. I held this trade 4 days, made 242%, put about 77,000 in, and profited 188,000. That's a 242% profit. Why did I hold over a 5-day period? Why was I confident to hold that for 5 days? My last video is about holding a multi-day runner with the size I had, and it all comes down to the stair-stepping levels on the S&P 500 futures. I will show you very quickly, give you a quick read on this, and then we will move on and end this video. You guys can see right here, we talked about that long off that 5506. That was the one we just talked about. That long got above the 50 SMA, above the 5600 level. It held that level. We pushed higher. We held above these lows. We held above these lows. I maintained. We had these levels here around 56.75. We held those levels. I maintained, ultimately taking profits on the last day of expiration. If you want more details on this trade, I made an entire video on it. I'm not going to replicate it. Go back to my last video and watch it. That is the entire video about this $188,000 profit on the SPX. The one thing that I want you to take away from this video, from these trades, from the profit that I have made, is that I have trusted technical levels. And once again, here's an update on my portfolio. Let's go ahead and just do a quick update. Go to my positions, the open positions that are moving. You can see it right here. Everything's moving. NVIDIA is obviously pulling back a little bit. There you go. The key takeaway. Let's actually go to NVIDIA real quick. NVIDIA pulling back to, okay, the 119.65. The key takeaway from today's video that I want to make very clear is, number one, I knew my levels, and number two, I trusted them. That's it, right? I knew where my technical levels were. I knew I had a 100 SMA demand down at that 5506. I trusted it. I longed off of it. I profited on the move. I knew I had demand at this 56.75. I trusted it. I longed off of it. I took the profits on the move. That is, in a nutshell, what has gotten me to make the money that I have. I have done nothing spectacular. I have done nothing that we haven't talked about on this video, on this channel before. Nothing has changed in my trading. All I did was I took the same types of trades, the demand levels, the supply zones, the break and retests, everything we talk about every day. I've done it at a larger size with confidence, and this is how I've gotten here. So this video may not be the best education, right? Because I didn't go into great detail about the retest strategy and the key demands in setting up those levels. That information is on my channel like every other day. The live streams, the other videos, the break and retest videos, the supply and demand, the finding your levels, all of those videos are already on the channel. And I wanted to make this video to sort of show you that I have done nothing different and the trades are remaining the same. The only difference is that I have scaled up and I've remained confident at the level that I'm trading. Key demand levels, 56.75, 55.06. We've talked about these levels on the morning live streams every single day. And I hope that you guys can understand what I'm looking for here. And if you need more help, number one, I think you should come to the pre-market live streams and go through the levels with me on a daily basis. That is 100% free every single morning. That's a great place to be sitting alongside me and playing these levels every morning. Number two, if you want to come join the Discord and you want to trade live with me, you can feel free to do that as well. I'm not going to influence you to do that. Just go ahead and join those morning live streams on YouTube. Wake up early. We've gone over every single one of these levels every morning on the live stream for 100% free. Now, the next thing, just to give you a little heads up, the next video that I make is going to be about some of these other trades, some of these bigger swing trades, Microsoft, Google, TSM, Apple. Some of these trades I'm going to go ahead and review in upcoming videos, so make sure to stay tuned for all of that. That's all I have for you guys. A pretty long video. I wanted to make sure I got as much as I could into this one. I hope you enjoyed it. $1 million portfolio, $700,000 in profits in September. Absolutely crazy. This is a testament, once again, to trading a strategy, the same strategy that I talk about every day on this YouTube channel. If you just found me, go watch some of my old videos. It's all the exact same. Supply and demand, key levels, trusting them, risk reward, basic concepts that I truly believe that you can apply to your trading no matter what level you're at. Of course, please understand that my results are not typical. This is not something that I promise you will make. This is not something that I influence that you will make. This is something that I have taken 11 years of doing, and I've put work towards it every day of my life, and I hope that this influences some of you out there. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you, hopefully, on the pre-market live stream tomorrow. Peace out.